All right, guys, today is Luke chapter 17. Now, the overpass has just opened up, and so I figured, hey, instead of doing this inside somewhere, why don't I just drive around, and as I drive, and just talk with you. Luke 17, Jesus is finishing up his teaching that he has been doing over the past couple chapters, and a lot of interesting things happen. His disciples come to him and they ask him, Lord, increase our faith. And Jesus says something really cool here. You know, the disciples are like wanting some kind of like practical tip or something. But Jesus says, guys, if your faith was even the size of a mustard seed, which if you've never seen a mustard seed, it's about the size of a period on a page. He says, if your faith was even that big, you could tell trees to be uprooted and you could throw them into the sea just with faith. I don't know about you, but it convicts me. Man, I can't do anything anywhere close to that. So really, how big is my faith? Jesus, he's teaching, and he's going to be instructing his disciples in Luke 17. Lots of good stuff, kind of a long chapter. But guys, go ahead now, pause the video, and read Luke 17. Alright, now, you read in chapter 17 a very, very short verse. And it says this, remember Lot's wife. And it's a very important verse, because if you go back to Genesis and you see what happened to Lot's wife, is she was turned into a pillar of salt. I mean, like straight up, not turned to stone, turned into a pillar of salt. Just like a big salt statue. And the reason why is because she looked back. God was about to destroy, like in a matter of minutes, God was about to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. And that's where she had been living for some time. And God says to remember her. Remember what happened to her. As she was fleeing, as God told her to leave and to flee from the destruction that's coming, she looks back and she remembers all the things that her town used to be to her. And God turns her into salt for that. Why? Well, she looks back on a super, super corrupt city with longing. Like she wished she could be back there. Even though God rescued her from that place. And that's what God punishes her for. You and I do the same thing. We have our life, we're living in sin, and God saves us from that. And we're excited, but every once in a while we look back with longing. What if? What fun would I be having right now if I wasn't following Jesus? And God says, watch out. Remember Lot's wife. That stuff that you called fun back there, that was sin, and sin leads to death. What you were doing was not only going to kill you now in this life, but it was going to kill you for all eternity, eternal death. Remember Lot's wife and her sin. She looked back with longing. She wasn't thinking about her being rescued. She was thinking about the fun, the sin that she was in. She wasn't going to see the righteousness, the redemption, the joy she would have in knowing that she was saved. She was only concerned with temporary pleasure. So guys, remember Lot's wife. Don't long for the past that Jesus redeemed you from. Think about the future. that God has given you.